It's my birthday, and I've cooked a full steak dinner, waiting for my girlfriend to come home. Instead of her, I get a text. Leo, don't wait up. I'm not coming home tonight. My breath catches in my throat. I type back, where are you going? Jason's had too much to drink. I need to stay and take care of him. But it's my birthday. What's the big deal about a birthday? I told you Jason's drunk and needs me. Can you stop being so needy for once? My girlfriend is Sophia Chan. She's a bona fide heiress, the current CEO of Stonefield Capital, and I'm just one of her employees. Back in college, Sophia was the undisputed campus queen. I chased her for 4 years straight. I was obsessed, a constant shadow wherever she went, running her errands, doing anything she asked, always there. She turned me down more times than I can count. Then right before graduation, we were taking class photos on the old bridge over the Charles River. She knew I couldn't swim, but in front of our entire graduating class, she pointed to the churning dark water below. Leo, if you jump off this bridge right now, I'll be your girlfriend. The moment the words left her mouth, I was over the railing. I nearly died that day, but it worked. We were finally together. Things were good, great even, until 6 months ago when her guy best friend, Jason Vance, moved back from London. After that, everything changed. It didn't matter what we were doing. Shopping on Newbury Street in the middle of a movie. If Jason called, Sophia would drop everything and run to him. The worst time, we were in bed halfway to somewhere wonderful, when his name flashed on her screen. He'd been in a car accident, he'd said. Sophia threw on her clothes and bolted out the door. It turned out he'd gotten a scrape on his knee from a kid's bicycle. I don't reply to her text. Instead, I open Instagram. The first thing I see is a new post from Jason. It's a cozy selfie of him and Sophia, his arms slung around her shoulders, her head resting near his. The caption reads a little wasted, but with Sophia here to watch over me, I think I'll sleep soundly tonight. In that moment, something inside me finally shatters for good. For years, my love for her was etched into my bones. It was a desperate, self-effacing love. A kind word from her would have me walking on air all day. A single smile would make me feel like I could die from happiness, no matter how she treated me. The moment she stood in front of me, I'd forgive her for everything. But now I just feel tired. I'm done. I'm letting her go. And in doing so, letting myself go too. Tomorrow, I'll go to the office, hand in my resignation, and disappear from her world completely. The next day, I walk into the office and I can feel it immediately. Everyone is staring at me with strange looks. Before I can even get to my desk, Jason is marching toward me, his face flushed with anger. Leo, what the hell is your problem? Why did you steal my emerald necklace? Jason is also from a wealthy family, the kind that has summer homes in the Hamptons. He and Sophia grew up together. Instead of joining his family's business, he came to Stonefield Capital to be Sophia's special assistant. I know the necklace he's talking about, an antique piece he never takes off, supposedly worth $50,000. I look at him, my voice perfectly calm. What makes you think I took it? Unless you have proof, I'd be careful. That sounds a lot like slander. He seems to get even angrier, his face turning beet red. Who else would have taken it? If you needed money, you should have just asked me. For Sophia's sake, I would have loaned you some. Jason isn't just the CEO's favorite. His family connections make him popular in the office. People flock to him. And even though I'm technically Sophia's boyfriend, anyone with eyes can see she barely tolerates me. A few of Jason's work buddies chime in, pointing fingers. Can't even admit what you did. I can't believe you're that kind of person. Leo. Yeah, I heard he basically stalked Sophia in college. Total psycho. Faked a suicide attempt just to guilt her into dating him. Pathetic. He was only ever after her money. I can't stand guys who mooch off their girlfriends. A cold smile touches my lips. This whole frame-up job is pathetically childish. I lock eyes with Jason. This little performance. It's all about pushing me out, isn't it? You're in love with Sophia, right? He flinches, his eyes darting away for a second before he refocuses. Don't change the subject, it was you. My necklace was in Sophia's office, and only the three of us have a key card. Sophia wouldn't take it. So who does that leave? He's not a complete idiot. I'll give him that. The whole company knows Sophia's office is the one room without security cameras. He can't prove I took it, but I can't definitively prove I didn't. I calmly pull out my phone. Oh well, if you're so sure it was me, then I have no problem with calling the police right now, and when they prove I didn't do it, I'll be suing you for defamation. I never touched the damn necklace. Even if he planted it in my belongings, my fingerprints wouldn't be on it. Just as I'm about to dial 9111, Sophia walks out of her office. Leo, that's enough, she snaps. She snatches the phone from my hand, cancels the call, and glares at me with ice in her eyes. Leo, if you're that desperate for money, you should have just told me. You didn't have to do something like this. It's like I'm seeing her for the first time, faced with his word against mine. She didn't hesitate for a second to take his side. Looking at her eternally proud, cold expression, I realize she has never, not once, respected me. A sharp pain like a needle pierces my heart, seeing my silence. Sophia turns to Jason. I'll transfer you the 50,000. We just dropped this. No one needs to mention it again. Jason smiles, a picture of magnanimity. Sophia, how could I take your money? 50,000 is just pocket change for me. If Leo really needed it, he can have it. All I wanted was an apology. The manipulative bastard. To everyone else, he looks generous and forgiving. But if I apologize, I'm admitting I'm a thief. I'll never be able to hold my head up again. I'm not apologizing, I say, my voice flat. Sophie's temper flares. Are you saying you didn't take it? You're accusing Jason of framing you. Why on earth would he do that? Seeing her defend him so fiercely, Jason shoots me a smug, triumphant look over her shoulder. I let out a derisive laugh. Oh, I think you know exactly why he'd do that. Sophia freezes stunned. In all the years she's known me, this is the first time I've ever dared to talk back to her. Her chest heaves, her perfect face a canvas of shifting red and white. She points a trembling finger at me. If you don't apologize, you can get out right now. I snatch my phone back from her hand. Fine by me, I say calmly, even if this hadn't happened. I was going to quit today anyway. Without another word, I turn and walk away. Sophia seems completely shocked that I'm actually leaving. She just stands there frozen. It's only when I step through the main doors of the building that I hear her voice, a distant roar of fury. Once you're gone, don't you ever come back. I'm walking down the street, lost in the downtown crowds, a profound sense of loneliness washing over me. All those years of devotion, they were all just a joke. In that moment, I feel a deep aching need to go home. I pull out my phone and call my grandmother. Grandma, I'm craving your homemade lasagna. Her voice instantly brightens. Then you come right home. Your brother Dylan is near your office. I'll call that little rascal right now and have him come pick you up. I wait on the corner for about 15 minutes before a limited edition Bentley silently pulls up to the curb. My flashy younger brother, Dylan, hops out, dressed in designer clothes from head to toe, and opens the passenger door for me. With a theatrical bow, Dylan is about to graduate from college. He's the polar opposite of me, loud, arrogant, and known all over Boston as the city's #1 playboy. I slide into the passenger seat and raise an eyebrow. What happened to the Lamborghini? Dylan laughs sheepishly. You said it was tacky, bro. I took it back to the dealership the next day and traded it in. He gestures around the Bentley's plush interior. What do you think of this one? Better, I was about to say it was just as ostentatious. But I don't want him to total another car. It's fine, I know it. Hey, bro. Dylan says, his tone shifting. I heard that jerk. Jason Vance has been giving you a hard time. You wanted to go rough him up for you. Seeing my stony silence, he continues, anyway. That guy's been trying to get into my friend's circle for ages, but I knew he was trash from the start. He's not even worthy of polishing your shoes. I've just been stringing him along. Say the word, and I've got a million ways to make his life hell. I'll handle Jason myself. I warn him, you stay out of it. My father, Arthur Miller, is the wealthiest man in Boston. He's a genius when it comes to making money, and a complete disaster at everything else. He's a firm believer in the tough love school of parenting. When I was a kid, he shipped me off to a boarding school and basically forgot about me. I was bullied, ignored, and left out. And he never intervened, insisting I learn to solve my own problems. My monthly allowance was a few $100s. It wasn't until college that it was raised to $2,000. I've been carrying a lifetime of resentment. It was because of him that my mother left, moving overseas after their divorce. She died in a foreign country 3 years ago from an illness. I haven't spoken a single word to my father. In those 3 years, Dylan is different. He's my half-brother. My stepmother's son, Arthur, had planned to give him the same tough love treatment. But his mother threatened to have a full-blown meltdown. So Dad caved. I look over at Dylan. You're about to graduate. Dad's getting older. And he's been talking about retiring for a while now. Have you thought about taking over Redwood Holdings? Dylan makes a face. My mom keeps pushing me to go get an MBA overseas. But bro, you know me. I'm not a student. And I'm definitely not a businessman. I know my limits. If you put the company in my hands, I guarantee I'd run it into the ground within a decade. He pauses, his expression serious for once. Besides, that's your seat. I'm not going to fight you for it. I don't respond. He's right, he's a total playboy. Even if Arthur agreed, the board of directors would never accept him. Hey bro, Dylan says, his mischievous grin returning. I just met this B-list actress. Drop dead, gorgeous body's insane, and I checked. She's the real deal, totally clean. What if I arrange for her to end up in your bed tonight? I shoot him a death glare. Shut up, you idiot. If you ever try something like that, I swear I'll beat the hell out of you. Dylan visibly shivers and shuts his mouth. That little punk has been scared of me since we were kids. He might talk back to our father, but he'd never dare to cross me. On the way, I get a text from Jason. You can't win against me. You're still just a pathetic loser. I text back one single phrase, just watch me. 4. An hour later, we pull up to the Crestwood estate, the largest and most luxurious private residence in all of Massachusetts. This is the home of the Miller family matriarch, my grandmother. It has its own gardens, a private helipad, and a full-size soccer field that she had built for me when I was a kid. Because I love to play, we enter the grand hall. Grandma Rose is sitting in a stately antique armchair. Her hair is white as snow, but her face is full of life and her expression serene. She is impeccably dressed, a beautifully carved cane resting by her side. She radiates an aura of both noble authority and gentle warmth. The moment I step inside, I call out Grandma. Her eyes immediately turn red. She hurries over and pulls me into a tight embrace. Leo, my dear boy, look how thin you've gotten out there. You must have suffered so much. My poor child. I smile. I'm fine, Grandma. Don't spoil me too much, you'll ruin me. You're the one I raised, she says, holding me at arm's length. If I don't spoil you, who will when you were little? I had your chart read. The fortune teller said, the future of the Miller family rests on your shoulders. I've always believed in fate, and I know you're the most devoted to me. If I don't give this family to you, who else is there? That little rascal Dylan. As she says this, she shoots a cold glare at my brother. Dylan immediately panics. Grandma, I know what I am. I have no interest in being the heir. It's Leo's position. I'd never fight him for it. Grandma Rose nods satisfied and turns her warm gaze back to me. Ever since you started fighting with your father, I haven't let that ungrateful son of mine step foot in this house. For 3 years, the world has changed. It's not his rough and tumble era anymore. If your sister Claire wasn't running the company these last few years, Redwood wouldn't be thriving the way it is today. Claire Vanderbilt was a ward of my grandmother, raised alongside me since we were children. A year older than me, she was accepted into Harvard at 16 and earned double doctorates from their business and law schools. She is the current CEO of Redwood Holdings, widely considered the most beautiful woman in Boston, the city's goddess. Rumor in the business world is that Claire is betrothed to the mysterious heir of Redwood Holdings, but no one has ever seen him. It's been a while since I've seen Claire too. As if reading my mind, my grandmother continues. Claire was always a fragile child. It took all my effort to raise her to be healthy. She's a good, devoted girl, just like you. Forget about that Sophia girl. She's a block of ice that will never warm up to you. She's not worth your devotion. Claire just called yesterday. Said she was coming to visit. Now that you're back, I'll call and tell her to come home. Tonight I chat with my grandmother for a while longer. Just catching up. Finally, she takes my hand, her tone serious. You and Claire aren't getting any younger. The two of you should get married soon. While I'm still healthy, I can help you raise the children for a few years. I squeeze her hand. You're still young, Grandma. You're gonna live to be 100. She beams, her laughter filling the room. Yes, good. At dinner time, my grandmother insists on making the meal herself. Dismissing the staff, she serves up a huge pan of her famous lasagna. Dylan, trying to suck up, digs in and exclaims, Grandma, this is the first time I've had your lasagna. It tastes different when you make it. It's amazing. Grandma glares at him. If your brother hadn't come home today, you think you'd be getting my lasagna? In your dreams. Dylan hunches over his plate and falls silent. After dinner, Dylan says the estate gives him the creeps. and makes an excuse to leave, practically bolting out the door. 5. I push open the door to my old room. Everything is exactly as I left it 3 years ago. Not a single thing moved. It's clear my grandmother has had it cleaned daily. There isn't a speck of dust anywhere. I flop onto the bed, exhausted. I've only been lying there for a minute, when I hear a soft knock, followed by a sweet, familiar voice. Leo, I'm home. I shoot up from the bed like I've been hit by lightning. Claire. I swing the door open to find Claire Vanderbilt, standing there, holding several shopping bags, dressed in a casual linen outfit. Even in simple clothes, she is breathtakingly, ethereally beautiful. Her skin is like polished alabaster, her figure graceful and elegant. I can't help but marvel at her beauty. See me just staring dumbfounded. She lets out a soft laugh. What? You don't recognize me anymore? I shake my head, a grin spreading across my face. Of course I do. It's just you get more beautiful every time I see you. I always thought you were an angel when we were kids, and it turns out I was right. Claire smiles warmly. You and your sweet talk. She steps into the room, closes the door behind her, and sets the bags on the floor. She starts unpacking them, holding up a shirt to my chest. I brought you some new clothes. Pick out what you want to wear later. I'm gonna run a bath for you. I watch her walk into the ensuite bathroom, completely forgetting about the clothes. I just stand there, admiring the graceful line of her back. After a few minutes, her gentle voice calls out, Leo, the water's ready. Come on in and relax. I strip down, wrap a towel around my waist, and walk into the steamy bathroom, sinking into the deep, hot water with a sigh. But Claire doesn't leave. She picks up a soft washcloth and gently begins to scrub my shoulders. I stiffen, a wave of awkwardness washing over me. Claire, maybe I could do it myself. Is little Leo feeling shy? She teases, her voice soft. I used to give you your baths all the time when you were a kid. I can feel the delicate softness of her hands on my skin, and combined with the unique, captivating scent that is just her, a heat starts to build deep inside me. My breathing quickens. Claire, I say, my voice suddenly hoarse. I want to sleep with you tonight. Her hand pauses for a fraction of a second. A deep blush spreads across her cheeks. When she doesn't say no, I take it as a yes. When I was little, I was a coward. I loved watching horror movies, but was terrified of the dark. I'd always end up crying in the middle of the night and running to her room. I spent most of my childhood sleeping in her bed. It's obvious Claire already showered before she came. Besides her natural scent, there's a faint, clean fragrance of shower gel. After my bath, I put on a pair of pajama pants and get into bed. A few minutes later, Claire returns, having changed into a silk nightgown, and slips into bed beside me. She pulls the covers up, lying perfectly still. I'm not that innocent little boy anymore. Back then, the most daring thing I ever did was gently touch her soft cheek. But now, lying next to the most desired woman in Boston, my mind is a chaotic storm of images. I roll over and pull her into my arms, our bodies pressing together. Her body is incredibly soft, and I can feel a slight tremor running through her. She avoids my gaze. I whisper, my voice surprisingly gentle. Is this your first kiss? Her eyes are hazy as she looks up at me, her face flushed, and gives a tiny nod. I can't hold back any longer. I lower my head and press my lips to hers, the lips that countless men have dreamed of kissing. I only let her go when she's breathless. Her entire body is flushed and hot, her breathing ragged, the smooth skin of her neck a beautiful shade of pink. I move to lift the hem of her nightgown. Her eyes fly open. She grabs my roaming hand, her voice almost a plea. Don't. Seeing the flicker of disappointment in my eyes, she quickly adds, I want to wait until our wedding night. I let out a quiet sigh. Of course. Raised by my grandmother, Claire is at her core a very traditional woman. Okay. I promise, not pushing any further. I simply hold her, savoring the miraculous warmth and softness of her body against mine. Claire relaxes in my arms, quiet as a kitten. She traces circles on my chest with her long, delicate fingers. Leo, she whispers, what Sophia and Jason did to you today, I'll make them pay. I'm not surprised she knows. I found out a while ago that Redwood Holdings is the single largest investor in Sophia's Stonefield capital. I suspected it was Claire's doing, which means she must have eyes and ears inside the company. While I don't say anything, she continues, Jason didn't get close to Sophia just because he's attracted to her. He has other motives. Now I'm interested. Oh, what do you mean? This year the Vance family launched a new firm, Blackridge Capital. For the last 6 months, Jason has used his position as Sophia's assistant to poach several major projects for Stonefield. Her company's cash flow is in serious trouble. I predict it won't be long before Stonefield collapses. If we don't inject more capital, they won't last. She shifts slightly in my arms. And on top of that, 90% of the Vance family's business comes from contracts with Redwood Holdings. If we choose not to renew those contracts, their entire enterprise will go bankrupt in months. The renewal date for their main contract is in 3 months. Whether we sign it or not, that will be your decision. I lean down and kiss her fiercely. Claire is always 3 steps ahead. The hunter stalks its prey, unaware of the bigger predator watching from behind. Once the Chun and Vance families falter, it will only be a matter of time before Redwood acquires them. Claire, I say softly, let's get married in 3 months. Her eyes instantly fill with tears. I pull back alarmed. What's wrong? She smiles through her tears. I'm just so happy. That night, I was a perfect gentleman. I just held Claire in my arms, not crossing the line she had drawn. Just like when we were children, I fell into a deep sleep holding her soft, warm body. The next morning, Claire tries to slip out of bed early, saying she has an important meeting. I pull her back, and we spend another hour just talking and laughing, before finally getting up. Around 9 that same day, I tell my grandmother that Claire and I will be married in 3 months. She is overjoyed, her eyes welling with tears, as she tells me she's been waiting for this day. For so long her hair has turned white. I feel a pang of guilt. For all those years I was obsessed with Sophia. I caused my grandmother so much worry. She never liked Sophia and felt terrible for Claire. Now, her wish was finally coming true. My grandmother wipes her tears and immediately calls my father Arthur. She announces that her precious grandson is getting married in 3 months, and the wedding must be the event of the century. If he dares to shortchange her grandson, he can consider himself disowned. Finally, she tells him to retire and let the younger generation take over. Arthur is famously devoted to his mother. He might ignore anyone else, but he would never dare to disobey her. The only time he ever did was when he divorced my mother. For that, my grandmother made him kneel in the family chapel for a day and a night without food or water until he collapsed. I still hold a deep grudge against him for it. In the high society of Boston, it was as if 2 bombs had been dropped, sending shock waves through every circle. First, the mysterious, never-before-seen heir to the Redwood Holdings empire was set to marry Mary Claire Vanderbilt, the city's most celebrated beauty, in 3 months. The news broke the hearts of countless men who adored her. For years, speculation about the Redwood heir had been rampant, but no one even knew his name. Now the veil was about to be lifted. The second piece of news was also related to Redwood. The Vance family's company, which had been expecting to renew a $5 billion contract with Redwood, was now rumored to be getting a massively increased deal, potentially worth a staggering $30 billion. The news sent the Vance family into a state of euphoria. They immediately began borrowing heavily and buying up land to expand their production facilities. Their company stock shot through the roof, climbing to dizzying new heights. Over the next 2 months, Sophia called me a few times. I ignored every call. Then she sent a text. Leo, are you done with your little tantrum? Get back here right now. This is the only chance I'm giving you. Don't be a fool. I turned my phone off, not bothering to reply. Just then my college roommate Ryan Blake called. Leo, we're having a class reunion tonight. The whole dorm group is going. You're the only one missing. I usually avoid these kinds of things, but Ryan is my best friend. He had my back all through college. If he was asking, I had to go. After a moment's hesitation, I agreed. Ryan texted me the address for a private room at a downtown restaurant. 7 o'clock. As I was leaving, I grabbed a stack of our wedding invitations. They were my classmates after all. If they wanted to come, they were welcome. If not, no big deal. When I stepped out of the Crestwood estate, a Rolls-Royce was already waiting. A large bald man with a rose tattooed on his neck opened the door for me. I nodded as I got in. Rosie, the big man, didn't get angry. He just chuckled. His real name is Roman Stone, but his nickname in the security world is the Fury. Only I dare to call him Rosie. He was my father's head of security, but ever since my engagement to Claire was announced, Arthur had assigned him to me. I once heard my dad Drunk tell a story about Roman. Years ago, up in the north, he was ambushed by 7 men with knives. Roman took 3 deep cuts, but still managed to disable all of them with his bare hands. He was the real deal. When I arrive, the party is already in full swing. Ryan spots me and immediately pulls me over to a table. After we sit, he leans in and whispers, "Dude, what is going on? Why is Sophia's Instagram feed filled with pictures of her and some other guy?" I just shrug and smile. "That's Jason, her childhood friend. And we broke up a month ago." Ryan throws a comforting arm around my shoulder. "Good. You should have broken up with her ages ago. You two were from different worlds. Sure, she's beautiful and rich, but I could never stand that high and mighty attitude of hers. Soon, almost everyone has arrived. I can feel eyes on me, some filled with pity, but most with smug satisfaction. They'd all seen Sophia's posts. My desperate, public pursuit of her in college was legendary. Now they were all thinking the same thing. See, that's what happens to obsessive losers. The reunion fills 4 large tables, and a clear social hierarchy has emerged. The wealthy, successful alumni are all seated at the 2 inner tables. Those with more modest means and less impressive careers are at the outer tables. Ryan and I, by those standards, know our place. We sit at an outer table with a few other guys we're friendly with, drinking beer and catching up. Suddenly, Mark Jenkins, our old class president, walks over from one of the inner tables. His eyes are full of mockery as he raises his glass to me, to Leo. "Here's to you and the campus queen, living happily ever after. Hope the wedding bells ring soon." A few people at the inner table snicker. "What's with him? He knows Sophia is posting pictures with another guy. He's just trying to humiliate Leo." "You didn't know? Mark had a huge crush on Sophia back in the day. He never got over the fact that a nobody like Leo got her. He's been waiting for a chance to kick him while he's down. Mark organized this whole thing. He specifically told Ryan to invite Leo. I bet he planned this exact moment. The guy Sophia is with is Jason Vance, another trust fund kid. Let's be honest, Leo was never in her league. Anyway, the whispers are quiet, but I hear every word. I clink my glass against Mark's and down my beer. My face a calm mask. Thank for the good wishes, Mark. Actually, I have some news. I'm getting married in October. Anyone who's free is welcome to come celebrate with us. Ignoring Mark's stunned expression, I pull out the stack of invitations and start handing them out. Ryan grabs my arm, his face a picture of disbelief. "Dude, you just said you broke up with Sophia a month ago. Now you're getting married. What the hell is going on?" "I'll explain later," I say, continuing to pass out the cards. The chatter at the other tables starts up again. What is he doing? Is he really willing to be cuckolded just to stay with her? Once a simp, always a simp. I'm not surprised. That guy would do anything for money. He has no dignity. Just then the door to the private room swings open, and Sophia strides in, an arrogant tilt to her chin. Her eyes land on me, and her face darkens. "Leo, what is wrong with you? You think you could just ignore my calls now?" I look at her calmly. "Go find her, Jason. Why are you still contacting me? What's that supposed to mean? You think there's something going on between me and Jason? Isn't there?" I asked, my voice cold. At this point, it doesn't even matter. I'm so tired of her perpetual pride, her condescension. Even if nothing had happened with Jason, I would never go back to her. Sophia gasps, her body trembling with rage. Ryan, sensing the tension, tries to play peacemaker. "Sophia, come on. Sit down. Leo's just upset. We were just celebrating you two getting married." He was even handing out the invitations. I suddenly have the urge to strangle Ryan. What did I ever say? I was marrying Sophia. As soon as Ryan speaks, Sophia notices the invitation in my hand. She snatches it away and glares at me. "Leo, what is this? Are you trying to force me into marrying you? I never agreed to this. And you've already had invitations printed. You think this little stunt is gonna make me forgive you?" Now the entire room is staring at me with a mixture of shock and disgust. So she never even agreed. That's low, even for him. First, he fakes jumping off a bridge to guilt her into dating him. Now he's trying to trap her in a marriage by announcing it publicly. Shameless. Mark Jenkins stands nearby, a smirk playing on his lips. I speak slowly and clearly. "Who said the person I'm marrying is you? The moment you told me to get out of your office a month ago, we were over." Sophia, blinded by her own anger, blurts out, "Who else would it be besides me? Who would ever want you?" My own face hardens. Why don't you read the invitation? Is it your name on it? In my words. Everyone starts looking closely at the cards. Printed in elegant script are the names. Groom Leo Miller, bride Claire Vanderbilt. Sophia throws the invitation at my face. Leo, even if you're trying to make me jealous, you didn't have to make up something so ridiculous. After a moment of stunned silence, the others find their voices. What the hell? Everyone knows Claire Vanderbilt is marrying the heir to Redwood Holdings in a few months. Is he trying to say he's the Redwood heir? Is he insane, or are we? Claire Vanderbilt is a goddess him. He's not worthy of even being in the same room as her. Another one of my former roommates, Ricky Hopper Lee, who never liked me, chimes in with a sneer. This is a joke. Leo lived on a $2,000 a month allowance for all 4 years of college. He wore cheap clothes from outlet malls and used a flip phone. If this guy is the heir to Redwood Holdings, then I'm Jeff Bezos. I stare at Sophia. It's the truth. Believe it or not. A cold smile plays on my lips. In this day and age, you can tell the truth and no one believes you. They don't even stop to think about who would be crazy enough to make a joke involving the current CEO of Redwood Holdings. That's a good way to find yourself in a world of legal trouble. Have you had enough of this circus? Come on. We're leaving, Sophia says, grabbing my arm and pulling me towards the door. I've had enough of the reunion anyway, so I let her pull me out of the room. As we reach the entrance of the restaurant, her phone rings. She answers it, her expression immediately softening with concern. You've been drinking again. You just can't help but make me worry. Don't move, I'm coming to get you. No, it's fine, I'm not a bother. I won't be able to relax unless I come get you myself. She hangs up and turns to me, a rare flash of hesitation in her eyes. I make it easy for her, Jason, right? Don't worry about me, go. Her hesitation vanishes, replaced by her usual mask of cool superiority. She gets into her Maserati, revs the engine, and speeds off into the night. A moment later, Rosie's Rolls-Royce glides to a stop at the curb. I get in, and we drive off in the opposite direction. 2 months later, the day of my wedding to Claire arrives. In the weeks leading up to it, the news of the marriage between the Redwood heir and Boston's beloved goddess has been fanned into a media frenzy. Everyone is eager to witness what is being called the wedding of the century. At the same time, the impending $30 billion deal between Redwood Holdings and the Vance family has the entire business world watching. The Vances have been on top of the world, their stock price reaching unprecedented heights. The family patriarch, Harrison Vance, has been walking around like a king. With this one deal, his family would be catapulted from the B list to the absolute top tier of Boston society. The wedding is being held at the Redwood Boston, the flagship 5-star hotel of our corporate empire. For the entire weekend, it's closed to the public, reserved exclusively for our guests. Right now, Claire and I are standing in the penthouse suite. She's already in her wedding dress, her makeup perfect. She looks like a flawless lily blooming in the clouds, her slender waist accentuated by the gown's design, her skin like snow, her eyes like stars. She is an angel on earth. Claire reaches up and adjusts my suit. She lets out a little laugh. What are you laughing at? I ask. You clean up nicely in a suit. What's that supposed to mean? I've always gone by on my looks. First I was mooching off Sophia. Now I'm mooching off you. You're impossible, she says, rolling her eyes affectionately. But seriously, are you sure you don't want to save Stonefield Capital? Sophia seems to have figured out something is wrong. Her company is on the verge of collapse. Jason is using it as leverage, trying to force her to marry him. For some reason, she's still hesitating. You reap what you sow, I say coldly. Let her deal with her own mess. Just then my phone rings. It's Ryan. Dude, where are you? He says, his voice shaky. I'm at the entrance. You need to come get me. There's security checking invitations, and my legs are shaking. I'm scared they're gonna find out my invitation is fake and arrest me. I'm glad he came, even though he didn't fully believe me. His loyalty brought him here. Ryan, when did you become such a coward? I'd never set you up. Just wait at the entrance, I'm coming down now. Claire offered to send someone, but I wanted to show Ryan how much his friendship meant to me. I took the private elevator down. The main entrance was swamped with reporters, so we've been using a private rear entrance. As I cross the grand lobby, I see that Ryan is already inside. I hurry over and grab his arm. Ryan, I told you to wait for me. How'd you get in? He points to a couch on the other side of the lobby. I came in with Sophia. I turn and see them. Sophia, Jason, Mark Jenkins, and Ricky Hopperly. The invitations they're holding are different from Ryan's. Theirs are official corporate invitations, sent out in Claire's name as CEO of Redwood, intended for business partners. They don't have my name on them. The ones I gave out at the reunion were personal wedding invitations, with both my name and Claire's. Well, a guest is a guest. I start to walk over to say hello, but Mark jumps up before I get there. Leo, what are you doing here? How did you sneak in? Hopper, who has disliked me since college, chimes in. Is security at the Redwood this lax? They'll let any stray dog wander in. Ryan can't take it anymore. What's your problem? If you can be here, why can't we? Hopper scoffs. Look where you are. This is the wedding of the Redwood heir and CEO, Claire Vanderbilt. Do you really think you belong here? Ryan's face flushes with anger, and he's about to lunge at them, but I hold him back. Today is my wedding, I say calmly. Ryan is my invited guest. Is there a problem? If you don't want to be here, you're free to leave. Of course, if you'd prefer to sit down and have a drink, you're welcome to do that too. Hopper bursts out laughing, as if I've told the funniest joke in the world. You should take a good look in the mirror. The Redwood is closed today for one event, and one event only. The heir's wedding. Don't tell me you're actually him. I smile faintly. That would be me. Is there a problem? Mark can't contain his anger. As your former class president, let me give you some advice. Look around you. This is not the place for you to be having a psychotic episode. Sophia walks towards me. That's enough, Leo. How long are you going to keep this up? Jason pulls Sophia behind him protectively. Sophia, there's no need to be polite with someone who doesn't appreciate it. He points a finger at me and raises his voice, so everyone in the crowded lobby can hear. Is security here completely incompetent? You've let a thief into the building. The Miller family relatives are already upstairs in the penthouse. The guests filling the lobby are the titans of Boston's business community. With the Vance's recent rise, Jason has been getting a lot of attention. At a shout, a crowd starts to gather, all of them looking at me with suspicion. Whispers ripple through the room. He looks so well dressed and composed. I can't believe he's a thief. You can't judge a book by its cover. My face hardens. Jason, don't push it. You're going to embarrass yourself in front of all these people. Jason laughs, a harsh, ugly sound. What, you can't face what you did? Have you forgotten how you left Stonefield Capital? Have you forgotten stealing my $50,000 emerald necklace? I have witnesses. He turns to Sophia. Sophia, tell them. Did he steal my necklace or not? A flicker of pity crosses Sophia's face. Leo, just go. This isn't the place for you. Her attempt to defend me seems to enrage Jason. Sophia, are you still protecting this pretty boy? Have you forgotten the trouble your company is in? You've begged for a meeting with Claire Vanderbilt for weeks, and she's ignored you every time. Right now, only my family can save you. At his words, Sophia's face turns as white as a sheet. Seeing her cornered like this, I feel nothing. She brought this all on herself, and I don't need her protection anymore. Jason, I say, my voice dangerously low. You say I stole your necklace. Where's your proof? Because without it, that's defamation, Jason sneers. Proof. The entire staff at Stonefield can be my witness. And as Mark and Hopper can tell you, you were a broke college student who lived on less than $2,000 a month. How could you possibly afford a suit like that? He's done his homework. The crowd seems to believe him after all. How could a poor student afford a bespoke suit like mine after only a few years of working? Hopper jumps in again. Mr. Vance, maybe he sold your necklace and used the money to buy that suit so he could come here and try to scam people. That must be it, Jason declares. At that moment, Jason's father, Harrison Vance, steps forward. Security, he bellows. Where is the security in this hotel? Get this thief out of here. The security guards look at each other, hesitant. All the guests here today are VIPs for the Earl's wedding. Without an order from their captain, they're not going to touch anyone. One of the smarter guards discreetly speaks into his radio, calling the captain, who is stationed upstairs. I lock eyes with Harrison Vance. Mr. Vance, you also believe I'm a thief? My son says you're a thief. So you're a thief, he booms. I start to laugh, a cold, harsh sound that cuts through the noise. You came to my wedding to call me a thief. Harrison Vance, you're a man who can't even tell right from wrong. How do you expect Redwood Holdings to do business with a family like yours? I pause, then raise my voice so everyone can hear. I have an announcement to make. The $30 billion contract between Redwood Holdings and the Vance family is hereby canceled. The lobby falls into a dead silence. Everyone is staring at me like I'm a lunatic. Harrison Vance's face turns purple with rage. But then he starts to laugh. Who the hell do you think you are? You say it's canceled. So it's canceled. Jason points at me, his face twisted with arrogant fury. People have to pay for their ignorance. Get on your knees and apologize to my father right now. If you do, we might forget this happened. If not, you'll find there's no place left for you in this city. You won't even know what hit you. This identity is based on the fact that he is my grandson, Arthur Miller's son, Claire Vanderbilt's husband, and the next head of the Miller family. Is that enough for you? You want my precious grandson, Daniel. I'm afraid the Vance family can't bear that burden. As everyone watches in stunned silence, my grandmother, the matriarch, dressed in a magnificent traditional gown, sweeps into the lobby. Behind her is my father, Arthur Miller, the richest man in Boston. On his flanks are the heads of the New York and Chicago commerce chambers, men who could shake the foundations of the business world. To her right is Claire, a vision of fierce beauty in her white wedding dress. To her left is my brother Dylan. Bringing up the rear are Roman, Rosie Stone, and the head of hotel security. There are only 8 of them, but they advance with the force of an entire army. The world tilts on its axis. I quickly go to my grandmother's side and take her arm. Grandma, she nods, patting my hand gently. My dear boy, I'm sorry you had to go through this. Dylan leans in and whispers, bro. I was watching the whole thing on the security monitors upstairs. I can't help but smile. So that's why all the key players arrived at once. It was my little brother's doing. What? The entire lobby is frozen in shock. The young man they had all just dismissed as a common thief was really the heir to Redwood Holdings. Everyone's gaze shifts to the arrogant father-son duo, now looking utterly lost. Their expressions are a mixture of pity and dark amusement. Ryan's jaw is on the floor. How is this possible? Sophia's mind is a complete blank. She stands rooted to the spot. Mark and Hopper's faces are drained of all color. No, it can't be. Leo can't be the Redwood heir. It's a mistake. It has to be a mistake. Jason mutters, collapsing onto the floor. Harrison Vance's face is ashen. My grandmother continues, her voice ringing with authority. And here I was thinking you were some great, noble family daring to act so disrespectfully on Miller family territory. One should not live with one's nose permanently in the air. A small family like the Van Ses. You are nothing more than beggars, taking scraps from our table. It's a good thing it was my family you insulted today. If it were an ordinary person, who knows how you would have bullied them. The moment she finishes, Dylan can't hold back any longer. He lunges at Jason and starts kicking and punching him. Who the hell do you think you are? Telling my brother Daniel. I'm going to kill you. You bastard. He's not holding back. Jason's screams of pain echo through the silent lobby. No one dares to intervene. Within moments, Jason's face is a swollen, bloody mess. Worried Dylan might seriously injure him in public. I turn to our bodyguard Rosie. Get this trash out of my sight. Rosie nods, walks over, and grabs the father and son, as if they were sacks of potatoes. Harrison Vance finally snaps out of his stupor. Mr. Miller, he wails, crying. It was me, I was blind. Please forgive me, Mr. Miller, give me one more chance. He scrambles on his knees, banging his head on the marble floor. Please, just let us live. From now on, I'll be a dog for the Miller family. It was my fault, I deserve to die. He starts slapping his own face over and over. The assembled guests watch the grotesque drama unfold, their expressions complex. As the once mighty Harrison Vance grovels like an animal, my father steps forward, his face impassive. Harrison, if you had insulted me, we could have settled it over a few drinks. It would have been nothing. But you insulted Leo. You broke my mother's heart. For that there is no discussion. He turns to the assembled guests, his voice booming. To all my honored guests here today, from this day forward, anyone who does business with the Vance family is making an enemy of the Miller family. Arthur Miller is the king of Boston, one of the wealthiest men in the country. When he speaks, the world listens. With those words, everyone in the room knows. The Vance family is finished. Harrison Vance's face is a mask of pure despair. He opens his mouth to say more, but it's too late. Rosie drags him and his son out of the hotel like 2 dead dogs. I look at the pale, trembling figures of Mark Jenkins and Ricky Lee. Are the two of you going to walk out on your own? Or do you want to be thrown out like them? As if granted a pardon, they scramble away and disappear. Sophia turns to leave, but Claire steps forward and gently takes her arm, stopping her. After that brief, dramatic interruption, the wedding ceremony proceeds as planned. The sheer luxury of the event is staggering. The next day, our wedding is on the front page of every major news outlet. The mystery of the Redwood heir has finally been solved, and messages of congratulations pour in from all over the world. Ryan recorded the entire wedding ceremony and posted it in our old college class group chat. The chat exploded. No one could believe that the quiet, unassuming Leo Miller from their college days was the heir to the Redwood Empire. All the people who had mocked me fell silent. Many turned on Mark and Hopper, calling them out for being pretentious bullies. Humiliated, both of them silently left the group chat, and so the Vance family's stock plummeted to nothing. Soon after they declared bankruptcy, buried in debt, they quietly sold their assets and moved out of Boston, never to be seen again. Sophia's Stonefield Capital ultimately received another round of funding from Redwood Holdings, saving it from collapse. But she and I became what we were always destined to be, the most familiar of strangers.